Hello, hopefully everyone is doing good, not taking so much pressure to learn Selenium. So in this video, we are going to discuss some of the topics those we have learned during our last class. So I'll basically explain these topics where I have hover on an element by using Selenium WebDriver, and then when you hover on it, then we saw that it was bringing a list of items, and then we have clicked one of the items from there. So I'll explain this code, plus I'm going to explain the work that you will have to perform for the upcoming class. So here I will explain like how you can identify object by link text, how you can identify object by Xpath and attribute name, and how you can identify object by Xpath and by text, and also how you can use a new thing, how you can use contains keyword in Xpath to identify object, right? So bear with me. Now so these two test cases here, right? Can you see these two test cases? I'm going to send it to you. This will be your homework for our upcoming class. Now let me go to the code that we have developed and give a little bit explanation on this code. So if you take a look here on this code, we have two classes. One is the scholar class, another one is the method class, where we have written the description of all of our method. Basically we have written our method in this class, and we have called those methods from this class, right? You can see that inside this class we have the main method, right? We have the main method from where we are calling all of the methods from there, right? Okay, now let's say that what we are doing here, in the beginning I'm giving a output message, and then I'm saying, okay, I'm defining an object of this CLS method so that I can call the methods from there, and then I have set property so that I can execute test in Chrome driver. Again, this is the keyword, and this is the path where you have your Chrome driver downloaded from internet. If you haven't downloaded Chrome driver from internet, download it and unzip it, and then put the path where you have this Chrome driver here. Okay, and then we have my can you see we have our WebDriver. We have defined a variable object for WebDriver, and by that you can see that we are using that object to call the method from there. Can you see if I go to that method, right? If you control and click on a method, right? If you hold control and click on a method, then it will take you to the definition of that method. So what we are doing here, we are opening the browser, right? Can you see we have passed the WebDriver object, and by that WebDriver object we are opening this website qaquestions.org, and then in the next function, same way, we have passed the WebDriver, and if you go to that method, you will see that we have verified the logo, right? If you go to qaquestions.org, you will see what we are going to do here. qaquestions.org, in this part we have verified this logo here. Can you see this logo? We have verified that logo. Now if you come here, you will see that I have written multiple syntax to verify that logo. I will explain each of these syntax here. First of all, if you take a look, I have identified that logo by link text, right? Can you see link text? This. So what I said, like, if this logo displayed, right? If this logo displayed, then we have a variable. Can you see that boolean type variable result? So if this logo displayed, it will return true here. If the logo is not there, then it will throw an error, right? So I have identified that object by link text. And how do you know what link text we are going to use? If you right click on this and if you inspect it, you will see that if you go there again and inspect it, you will see that, let me make this part smaller, right? Can you see this is the link text, and it has some other attribute. As you can see, it has a href attribute. Basically, can you see this tag name? A means link, and then it has a href attribute, it has a title attribute, it has a rel attribute, right? And that is where this link is going to be ended. Okay, now let's go there. So we have identified that object, as you can see, by link text, and then we have Xpath. Can you see we have Xpath, and that on that Xpath we have what is the tag name? Link A, right? I put the tag name, and href I have provided the href value for that. If you go there again, you will see that href value is up to that http www.qquestions.org, and then I have identified that object by title and rel as well. So, and can you see this is the link text, right? Okay, let me go there. So I have identified that object by title. That is how you are going to identify that object, and then by using rel I have identified that object, right? And then finally, instead of writing link text, you can say, you can give Xpath and then link, and then you can say text equal to Q interview questions. So that is how I have identified that object. You can identify an object multiple way, right? And then in the following functions, right, as you can see here, I have verified this description of this website, right? What is the code for that? If you hover on it, right, verify site description. If you go there, you will see like we have verified that site description. Again, we have verified it by class name, and also we have verified it by Xpath. Can you see this Xpath, right? Span, and I have used that text. And one other thing I want to tell you, if you are identifying the object, if you identify the object by Xpath, and if you use attribute, then you are going to put @ sign before the attribute name. If you are identifying that by text, you are going to set text, and then you are going to put a set of parentheses. Okay, and you know, I have like if I inspect that object, right, if I inspect this object, you will see that it has a class, right? It has a class. So there is like link text, there is a syntax called identify object by dot class name, right? And the same thing you can do in the attribute. You can put the class name and you can identify the object. The next part is we have hovered, right, verify interview questions link. Then we have verified the interview questions link. I'm clicking control and click. So here again I have identified that object, that Q interview questions, by href. It will not, if you put Q interview questions at text, it will not work. So you'll have to identify that object by href property. Okay, and then I have as you can see here, right, if that object is there, you can, what did I do? I have basically I have clicked on it, right? So you do not have to, like, if this object is there, what did I do? I have clicked on, can you see Q interview questions? I have clicked on that link. Okay, now let's go to the next function. Here we have the next function. Can you see verify site Q interview questions header? So this is Q interview questions header. You know, when I'm going to the Q interview questions link, right, then if as you can see that if you hover on it, right, if you hover on it, then actually if you click on it, then you see this header. I have verified this header. Okay, and then if you go there, next thing that I did, I hovered on contact us link. So what does this mean? So if you go to this site, right, can you see that there is a contact us link? If you put your cursor on top of it, if you do not click on it, right, if you put your cursor on top of it, you see some menu item. So I hover on it, and then when I saw the menu item, I clicked on one of the menu items here. So I'll tell you, like, I'll show you how you can hover on an item. So remember, we are hovering on contact us link, right? Now if you inspect it, you will see that we have link text, right? We have link text, we have a href property. Now if you go there, right? Let me go to this hover function, and can you see that how we are going to hover it, right? Now first of all I need to, can you see I have a web element object that I have declared. When you declare web element object, you will have to import. If you will see a balloon here, you will have to import the class from the Selenium library. And then can you see here I am identifying that object by using its link text, right? I am identifying that object by using the link text. Now what I'm doing here, I'm creating, to hover you will have to create an object of actions class, and by using that object you will have to call that method move to element. And where do I want to move? LE. What is that LE? That LE is the contactors link, and then you will have to use that platform. Then it will be hovering on that particular contactors link, and after hovering on it, we know that it will bring the menu item, and then I'm clicking on the register link, right? Can you see I have identified that register link by text, and what is the text? Register, right? And then if it is displayed, if it is true, then I'm clicking on it, right? Now let me do a quick execution on this code, and then I will go for further explanation. So you can see that it is executing that code whatever we have written in the last class, and then it is going to verify Q interview questions, and then it is going to hover on contractors link. You will see that, yeah, and then it will be clicking on register, right? You saw that up to this. Now let's say my next task, now at the moment I am in contractors page, register page, I'm going to hover on this element, right? Q interview questions, and then I'm going to click on ALM interview questions. This part I'll do here, right? I'm going to click on Q interview questions. That means I'm going to perform, can you see I'm going to hover on Q interview questions, and then I'm going to click on ALM interview questions. Okay, now let me show you how you are going to do that. Okay, so if you come here, you will have to hover on this element, right? On this element. Now I'm going to write a method to hover on Q interview questions. Okay, so how I'm going to do that? So I'm going to copy an existing hover method, right? Existing hover method, I'm going to copy this. If you do not have the existing hover method, you will have to write it, right? I'm going to paste it here. Now I'm going to hover on where? I'm going to hover on QA interview question, right? And then remember that I said, what did I say here? I say that use link text to identify, right? Use link text. So what is the link text for Q interview questions? If you right click and inspect, right click and inspect, do it 2 times to make sure that you are in right place. Actually what I'll have to do, I'll have to make it smaller, and then I'll have to right click, inspect, and then what is that? This is the link text. Can you see this is a link, and I'm identifying that by link text. I'm going to copy this link text, and then I'm going to, instead of contactors, I'm going to put it here. Okay, now before that I'm going to put output message system dot out dot println, and what do I want to print here? I want to print, let's say, hovering on QA, interview questions Got it? So now let me call this method from there. Let me call this method from there, from here, right? I'll have to use again obj caller to call that method, obj caller dot, right? What is that? Let me put it here, right? Now you will see after execution it will be hovering on QA interview portion. Right, it is first it is clicking on Q interview questions because we have that, and then it is going to hover on contact us link and then click on register and verify register, and then it is going to hover on Q interview questions. Okay, you will see that it will be hovering on QA interview questions. Was it able to hover on it so far? Probably not. Let me see what is happening there. So if I go there, hovering on QA interview question, hover on QA interview questions, probably it was not able to hover. Let me take a look what is happening there. So I'm saying hover on by QA interview questions. Definitely we are not going to hover on this by QA interview questions. Again, the same reason, because we have two links. This is one link and this is another link. Both of them has same link text, so you cannot hover it by what? By link text. So we'll have to change this step. If you want to hover on it, you will have to use, instead of link text, you will have to use at attribute name. In this case it will be href, right? So I previously have written something for that. I'm going to bring that. So if you go back here where I have clicked on Q interview questions link, right? Can you see? I'm going to take this after this, right? I'm going to take from here to here, and then I'm going to put it here in my code. Okay, so instead of link text, it will be by dot xpath, and then you will have to provide that xpath here. Okay, now if you execute it one more time, xpath, I put it, yep, let me save it, and then what is it? What is it saying? Multiple markers is the same. Okay, let me see. By xpath, oh, I have by xpath twice, so let me remove this by xpath. Okay. Now let me do the execution. Save and let me do the execution. Let me close this browser, okay, and run it. Now it will be right, clicking on Q interview questions and then hovering on contact us, and then clicking on register, and then it will be coming back and hovering on Q interview questions. Can you see? Now my next task is to click on verify and click on ALM interview questions, right? Verify and click on ALM interview questions, and what is the way I want it to be done? Use Xpath and attribute name. Use Xpath and attribute name, right? So if you go there, right, if you hover on it and if you hover on this inspect, can you see it has what attribute? It has href, right, and it has text. So this is the text and this is the attribute. I'm going to use attribute. What is the attribute? It has only href, right? Only href. Remember that only href. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy an existing function, existing method, and I'm going to use it to identify that object. Let's say I'm going to copy this method. If you do not have that method, you will have to write it. You will have to pause the video and see the syntax, and then you will have to write it. Can you see what I have here? Right, for QA interview questions, right, is displayed. So this is basically, if you take a look, I'm going slowly, that is what I have here. Okay, now let me make this one a little bit bigger. Let me remove this from here so that it becomes bigger, right? And also, yeah, okay, now let me go there and paste this code here, and then I'll modify it. Okay, so this is my code. Now I'm going to verify lm int question and click. Right, I'm verifying. I'm going to verify lm interview question and clicking on it. Right, now I'm going to identify that object by Xpath, right, and it has text. If you want to identify that object by text, right, by text, what you will have to do, you will have to go there. What is the text for this link? Right, yes, you will have to come here and put that. Again, this is a link. You will have to put this, instead of paste, you will have to put this text here and put this text here. And what is that? Let's say alm int question. I'm going to put it here as well. Alm interview question. Okay, alm interview questions. Now I'm going to call this method. It will verify it, and then it will be clicking on it. Right, I'll have to make a call from here. So obj caller dot, right, and then what is that WebDriver I need to pass? This one. Right, now if you execute it, you will see that it will be clicking on alm interview questions. Let me execute. So first of all, it will be clicking on Q interview questions, then hover on contact us and click on register, and then it will be hovering on Q interview questions again, and then it is going to click on ALM interview questions. Can you see it was able to click on ALM interview questions? Now if you take a look here, how I wanted it to be, I wanted not at, I wanted not text, I wanted it by attribute name. Can you see attribute name? Now what is the attribute name it has? If you take a look here, it has attribute name href, and href has value, right? So what I'm going to do, can you see, I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to copy link address. So I'm going to go back to my code. Now here, instead of by text, I'm going to say, no, not by text, I'm going to say @href. And what is the value of that href? I'm going to paste it here. Got it? I'm going to do the same thing here for this one, to click on it, right? Instead of text, I'm going to say @of href. And what is the value of the href? From there I have brought this one. Right? Now I'm going to execute it. Again, you will see it will do the same thing. it will come here in the Q interview questions, and then it will be clicking on ALM interview questions, right? You saw it. Now let's go back to the test case. Next step I wanted is verify the when ALM interview questions appears, right? Verify it ALM interview questions appear. Verify the page header. Let's say instead of attribute name, I'm going to say attribute name contents. I'm going to modify it a little bit. I'll tell you what does this mean. Attribute name contents. Now this LM interview questions, right? Click on LM interview questions, and then my next step is verify the page header, right? How I'm going to verify the page header by attribute name contents. I'm going to show you how we are going to do it. Just bear with me. Right now you saw attribute name, and when are you going to use attribute name contents? Right, let's say that sometimes you will see that in real application, right, this text, right, you will see that some part of the text is remaining, some part of the text is remaining there, and the remaining part is changing. So on that case you are going to use contents keyword. So let's say sometimes what I'm trying to explain here, sometimes you will see that let's say this part will remain fixed, but the other part will be changing. So let's do, so now we are going to verify this element. I'm going to show you how you can verify that element by using contents. So I'm going to copy this block of code and going to modify this to verify that item. So if you come here, right, now we are going to verify ALM interview questions page header. Okay, now verifying ALM interview questions is header. Okay, now how I'm going to identify, again I'm going to use Xpath and then attribute name, and if you take a look here, if you do an inspect, on this element, right, you will see this one H1. So what is the tag name? H1. So, and what is that text? Actually I'm going to use, let's say I'm going to use this add text contents. So I'm going to change it, instead of attribute name actually I can say instead of attribute add text contents, I'm going to use that. So what is that element? The element is, instead of a, it is a H1, and then I'm going to use text, right? I'm going to say text, and then this, and then contains, let me see if it works in that way, contains, and then I'm going to say I'm going to write it, actually when you are writing contains it will be something like this, and remove this, keep this text. When you are writing contains it will be like this, contains, and then put your parenthesis. Remember that you have added an additional parenthesis, and then instead of equal to it will be comma. And contains, let's say what is that contains, let's say I know this part is there but the questions will not be there, so I will say it will have this and some other things. So I can say find an H1 that has this text and some other text. so I'm going to put that in that way. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put it here, right? Contents, in the contents part I'm going to put it this QA interview questions up to this, right? And remember that I have started after contents, after this, right? After this I have a parenthesis started, so it will be this parenthesis started and the parenthesis it will be ended before that box bracket, right? So what I will have to do, I'll have to copy from this one to up to this contents, right? And then I'll have to put it here. Actually I'll have to do this from h1 to this from this tag name to this double quotation, right? So let me see what is the problem it is showing me. I'll have to remove this, it will put that additional thing, and then here what is that I'm verifying? LM interview questions page header, this is just message LM interview questions questions page header. Okay, now you saw that I'm identifying that object by using contents, and when you are using contents, can you see you are giving the tag name as usual, the box bracket, and you are using that word contents. And then if you are using, let's say, class, then you will be putting at class. I'm identifying that object by text and parentheses. So and then I do not know this, I say that it will be changing, right? In this case you are going to use contents, so I know that this one will remain fixed, so I have used that one to identify the object. Now if you highlight it now, actually if you execute it, so it is clicking on Q interview question, then it will be going to the contact us link, it will hover on it, it will be clicking on register, and then it will go to Q interview questions again, it will hover on it, and then it will be clicking on ALM interview questions, and then it is going to verify that ALM interview. Now if I go back to my code, right, can you see ALM interview questions link display, right? ALM interview questions, I'm saying here that ALM interview questions link displayed. Actually I didn't call this method, right? So I'll have to, let me change this name. Hey dot, let me call this method. I didn't call this method, and that's why it was not able to. Remember that if it was able to verify that object, it will print that message LM interview questions page header, but here we have LM questions link, that is the previous one. So what I will have to do here, I'll have to come here and then I'll have to call this method, and then what is that? This is the object. I'm going to put it here, and then what is that? This is the one that I'm going to use, and then I'm going to save it. Now you'll see that it will be showing, instead of question link, it will be showing, okay, this page header displayed. Now let me execute it. So it is executing, it will be opening the page, and then it will be clicking on Q interview questions, and then it will go to hover on contact us link, and then after that it will be clicking on the register link, and then it will go to few interview questions to hover on it, and then it will be clicking on LM interview questions, and then now finally it will be verifying this LM interview questions. Now if I go to the page, can you see that LM interview questions page header displayed? So the new thing that you have learned, again you can, let me quickly show you the difference between these two syntax. Let me take it, let me copy this, shift and copy, and let me put it in a notepad. I just want to quickly show you the difference between these two syntax. Let me remove this displayed. Actually I can, if I take it to the previous page, and let me remove this display to make it a little bit smaller. So here I have h1 and contents add text. So let me bring another syntax that has h1 and text. So if you write it like if you do not use contents, what will you do, right? That is what I'm going to show you. So let's say that the same syntax, you do not want to use contents, so what will you be changing, right? You put it here, so remove that contents, right? And then you know it is not changing, text is always the same, so you put equal, and remember that this additional parenthesis, you remove it. Now what is that text? You go there, this is the, I know that it is not changing, it is always fixed. You copy the whole text, and you, or you can copy it from here, elementary questions. You go there, you go to your notepad, right? You put it here. So that is the difference between these two syntax. Now why do we use contents? Because sometimes you know that the part of the text is changing, right? If you go to your bank, right, remember that your balance, it shows your balance every day. It will say, okay, your balance today is this. Your balance next day, it will say your balance today is this. Next day it will say your balance today is this. So your balance today is fixed, but the other part is changing. So if you want to identify that object, what you will have to do, your balance today is, if you use contents, you can ignore whatever number is there, but if you want to identify, if you know that your balance is not changing, then you are going to equal, you are not going to use contents. Instead you are going to say your balance today is, let's say how much, 123.25. You got it? So that is where you need to use contents, and that is where you do not need to use contents. Hopefully this makes sense. I'll just put this part as a comment in our code so that I can discuss further on it if I need to. Okay, so I'm going to put this block here. I'm going to put basically this, and I'm going to comment on this. Okay, now you saw that what we have discussed so far is we have identified object by attribute name, by text contains by at text, right? So and contains keyword. So basically whatever I supposed to, whatever I wanted to discuss, I have discussed all of the things. Now your task will be to verify all of these links here. You click on the link, verify the page setup. And the manual testing, you click on each of this link and verify the page setup. So hopefully I was able to explain whatever I was intending to explain. But go through the video and let me know if you have any questions. You can ask me any question. Okay, so that's all for today. Put your time, put your effort so that you are good to go. You need to at this point you need to make sure that you are good up to that, otherwise it will be difficult for me to move forward. All right, so thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your time. Bye.